Hi, I'm Peep, and in this episode we're going to be peeping WandaVision.
Oh, just like we never said goodbye when you spoke to me that way.
So, WandaVision. Wanda herself once said, "You can't reverse death, no matter how sad it makes you." And then she went and did that. So, and that's what this show's about, basically. No, but WandaVision is a show, notably the first Marvel show on the Disney Plus platform. It is about Wanda Maximoff, who has, I guess, these kind of mind manipulation-esque abilities and powers, and can also like lift things. I don't know. It's some kind of magic, basically, right? And so we're living in this TV-esque bubble that she kind of made for herself, and it goes from there, right? The show is ran by Kevin Feige, which I always want to say Paul Feige, who I think did like Bridesmaids and stuff like that. I don't know. I get them both confused, but he is basically the head. He's Mr. President of the MCU, essentially. So of course he has a major role to play in the show. So this show has been highly anticipated among a lot of Marvel fans. I will say, I don't really have before I went into this, I didn't really have too much experience with Marvel. I literally don't think I've ever seen an Iron Man movie. I definitely saw like the first Avengers. I couldn't tell you what happened in it though. After I watched the show, or like as I was watching it, I did watch Age of Ultron. Kind of a must watch. That's where we got Hot Pietro. I'm very emo about us losing Hot Pietro. Oh, did I spoil? I mean, the movie's been out. dude. I'm telling you, I was like pissed. I was really pissed to lose him in the movie, of course. But you know, yeah, we'll talk about it, right? But and then I saw Infinity War. It's funny. I watched Infinity War before I even saw Age of Ultron. And I remember the ending. I remember that. Then I never saw Endgame. So like, do you see my relationship with Marvel? Yeah. So I'm not a Marvel head, or like whatever they're even called. Is the fandom called superheroes? I have no idea. But I just was interested in the show because out of zeitgeist reasons. Like, I knew everyone was talking about the show before it came out, and I wasn't insanely like hooked from the trailer because I didn't really have an emotional connection to these characters that much. But I was more excited about what it meant for Marvel TV and Disney's originals, I guess you say, like more the risks that they're going to take with this show. I think that interested me the most, and I was definitely not disappointed going in. Full stop. So, I'm P from the future. Just want to remind y'all, spoilers. This review has spoilers. All my reviews have spoilers. So please click away because you will be spoiled. Okay, bye. Well, honestly, let's just get into this. Let's get into Miss Wanda's little universe. WandaVision. Let's go. So there's a lot to talk about in this show. Oh my god. But let's talk about the story. Okay, let's do this. So looking at the season, I could definitely see that it's broken up in 3 parts, or at least it feels there's 3 different tones for sure across the season. So I would say the first 3 episodes, definitely we're fully immersed in Wanda's world. I mean, especially that first episode is like when we slightly get unimmersed, that it goes crazy. Which, speaking of which, that is a phenomenal part of the episode. Just how jarring it got when like they switched, like the feeling of, I guess, dread or just eeriness that you get when you switched from the 4-camera shot to like this more close-up, intense, like breaking away from it. The guy is choking. Like, that was, what a way to kick off this show. Oh my god. I mean, we'll get to the references because that's a whole other beast, honestly. But just storytelling wise, bone shit. Like, I was hooked. As soon as I saw that, hooked. I was like, play second episode. Let's go. Like, insane. But yeah, that's the first 3 episodes. And then, you know, by the end of episode 30, things start getting creaky, right? Things go a little bump in the night. Things are getting weird. And then you have the show and the sword storyline starting to integrate, play with each other a bit for episodes 4 to 7. And then the last 2 episodes, definitely different in tone, because the TV show aspect, where is she? She's gone. She left. She was done. She was like, okay, we're here now. We've arrived. And I will say, just a side note, of these 3 sections, I won't lie. Second section was actually my favorite. It was actually my favorite. I love the balance of it, teasing us with the show and showing us enough of the WandaVision, her show, right? And then also, but things making sense on the other end of it a little bit, like Sword, and trying to also understand this mystery, this underlying mystery episode to episode. I think that part was really exciting. I definitely like that switch up because I feel like it would, like, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the different decades and the different episodes that much if we were so fully immersed in this WandaVision show for all time. So I think they broke it up at the right time. The pacing of the show, excellent. Very thought out, which I was honestly expected, because it's a high quality production for Marvel. Like, there's so many hands touching it. Like, the pacing is probably thought over like a billion times, but it definitely, so it just felt like such a nice flowing show. There is this aspect of mystery in this show that at the beginning we just had so many questions, right? We had so many theories. There were so many theories started dwindling as you started getting further into the show. But I will say, and this is just a small criticism of the show, but I will say it did feel like majority of this season, I would say 80 to 90% of the season, we were always in mystery, steeped in mystery. Like, you would think by episode, I don't know, 7, maybe 8, maybe a little teasing in 6, we would have gotten like more, just a crumb more of answers. But mystery aspect was moving very incrementally and slowly, because I like, what? How much did we really find out throughout this entire show? Like, not talking about the finale, like episodes 1 to 8. How much did we really find out? Like, the mystery, or just, it just felt like, and if we did find out the entire mystery by that point, if you make that argument, it didn't feel like so grand. Any reveal, okay. Aside from Agatha, iconic. We'll talk about that. Don't worry, we'll get there. But it was just like, but it's like she didn't even know what was happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she didn't even know how Wanda did all that. So just like, I feel like the mystery reveal, just any reveal they gave us, it didn't feel grand or it didn't warrant 8 episodes of being in the dark. It didn't. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I wanted something a little grander. You are Marvel, so you're very capable of that. Let's continue talking about this writing, because this writing, so besides the pacing being on freaking point, the writing is just, it's fantastic across the board. And the directing too. Actually, let's talk about the directing just really quickly, because in a show like this, I could see how easily the show could feel mismatched and just awkward, because it honestly is kind of 2 different shows in one show. It really is, but it still flowed so well. It was not jarring. It was not jarring at all. The tone shifts weren't even like horrible too, because also like when we started getting the sword aspect a little bit more in, we also we're starting to see more and more cracks into Wanda's show and stuff. So the tone was honestly more similar than you would think for it being like, you know, a sitcom with like the super actiony, like, let's investigate, you know what I mean, like governmental. The tone actually kind of lined up a little, like, well, like it just flowed. It floats. And this would have been such a hard show to accomplish that in. So just like props to the directors, honestly, and the writers. Okay, the writers, oh my god, the writers tackled so much on this. I just want to give them their flowers. I really just want to give them their flowers. There was so much to juggle in this show. Okay, you had the decade speak, right? But then you also had the language of the show you're referencing, right? And then you also had to have it in very much in character, and then you also had to move the plot along. Like, oh my god, writers usually don't have to focus on two of those things. So like the fact that they just did it so seemingly effortlessly and so graceful and so freaking masterful. Like that first episode, the writing in it, oh my gosh. The gags they were doing, oh my god. Like, these bitches know their shit. They know their shit. Like, like, and for it to feel, like, of course, the performances, we'll talk about that because they brought that writing to life, to a life boost. That's just, like, so much to do, not just so much to accomplish. Just from writing one episode, to do that, what, like, 6, 7 times? Like, let's go, round of applause. And not only that, they didn't just do that, even more. Because they knew that there was something compelling here in Wanda's story. And if you're gonna have a show about Wanda, you cannot neglect it. There's a reason why she's doing all this. It's one of the more unexpected aspects of the show that literally makes it brilliant. Because they could have easily just continue what they're doing, make it feel actiony when you needed to, bring in that Marvelness, sprinkle it in, make it all like that, right? No. They brought in such an emotional core to the show because Wanda has been through so much, and they're like, if we're gonna do a show about her, we need to highlight what this woman has been through and what it will do to her. For me, the core of this show, you know, decade gags aside, Marvelness aside, is that this is a story about trauma and grief. There's something more substantial here that the writers wanted to tackle. Sprinkle it in under all these freaking layers that it's such a layered cake already. They're like, no, this is gonna be the foundation, this is gonna be the base. This woman is suffering. She's gonna act out. She's gonna she's gonna act out. She's gonna make her own bubble. She wants to feel happy. Let this woman feel happy, okay? Like, there's so much that people do as coping mechanisms for what have you. Trauma, no trauma. But especially, I feel like when you're in such a state of grief, when you've been through so much and lost so much, how far are you willing to go? And answering that question as someone who literally, like, has powers. So not only did it influence her to make an entire, basically a bubble of her happy place, dragging everyone in this town with her, just saying. But the writers also kind of personified this grief, this trauma. Because, of course, we started where we were just seeing the aftermath of it. We're just watching the show as she would live in it, right? But it was interesting because I feel like as we start seeing the glitches and stuff like that, we're like, ooh, ah, right? We're like, what is happening? Oh, that's weird. Oh my gosh, she just saw a flash of Vision's dead body, literally her trauma facing her. It also, for me, read as personification of triggers or flashbacks that someone with PTSD might face. When you've been through something that's traumatic, you can't help when that trauma creeps back up on you. It's just gonna flash. It's gonna literally glitch your own world. So the fact that they were playing on the TV aspect, but also kind of that's representing flashbacks and triggers at the same time, next level. Like, this whole TV aspect, using it as a whole allegory for someone processing trauma and grief. Like, those things intermingling was very graceful. And it wasn't even hitting you over the head. It became much, much more overt by the 8th episode. For me, a little too much, a little too obvious, I think. That was just my taste level. I feel like I was definitely being over the head with it. Honestly, that was maybe inevitable. At the same time though, because they were doing it so sneaky, so here and there, and just little sprinkles of it through until episode 8, so I get it. But just wow, because it really is a representation of the more that you try to bury something and stick to maybe an unhealthy coping mechanism, the more it's gonna pop out. The more you stuff it, it's gonna pop out. It's gonna pop out in crazy freaking ways, okay? It's not also like the grief and trauma theme of this show just shows up in Wanda either. We see Monica's trauma as well. When she is traveling back through the hex after, I think, like the 3rd time or something, and she's like really going through it. It's like all like, you know, the flashbacks of her, like her mom, and all she has to go through all these memories and confront them before she ends up back within the hex. So that's another place where that theme manifests too. And so we even get to see more of Monica's trauma also, because that's how it opens episode 4. It literally opens that episode. From the dialogue to the pacing to the themes to referencing the show, the decade so well, so precise. This writing is so good. And it makes the show just so addictive. It really does. Just doesn't lie in the writing. No, it lies across the board. Because you also had the DP literally using lenses from that time period to feel more authentic in the show, which is crazy because they also did special effects on top of that. Like, and they kind of did it in a way where almost like if the 50s had the technology to do that kind of stuff, how that might look. And like they still did it in the style, like the special effects and stuff, like the little 50 sprinkles that would like show up when something disappeared or something. It was so fun to see. And the shows that they're referencing, just to have a list of just a few. Dick Van Dyke, Bewitched, The Brady Bunch, Full House, etc. You know, 80s, etc. Malcolm in the Middle, Modern Family, Happy Endings. So, full out gonna say, even though I literally actually have not seen this show, admittedly, I really love the Malcolm in the Middle references, like with the 90s, 2000-esque flair to it. Maybe it's because that style of show isn't too far away and it's kind of nostalgic because it's a style of show that I saw growing up in my childhood. Also, that episode has such good gags. Oh my god, like Pietro, like Evan Peters Pietro, like in that as a man-child's uncle, played it so well. That fits him so well. That fits the character pretty well. Like, it fits the whole situation really well. Like, they lined their cards perfectly. They knew what they're doing. They knew what they're doing at all times, and it's crazy. It's formidable. I feel like sometimes the thoughtfulness kind of works against Marvel in the Marvel movies and stuff that I have seen. But the fact that they used it for good, they used it to say something, they used it as a fun gag, the thoughtfulness was very much appreciated here and just so well executed here. That's not to say Marvel itself isn't inherently distasteful, but I feel like there's just some corny elements. I'm gonna say it. There's some stuff when I see Marvel movies, because it's made for kids, that it just gets corny. And so, like, I hate to say it, but I mean, like, in some episodes, like episode 8, it kind of started getting a little corny. And like episode 4, it was a nice breather and a nice palate cleanser, so then we can appreciate when the shows came back. It made sense. It was a pleasant disruptor. Episode 8, in its Marvel lens, it just felt a tiny bit Marvel-esque corniness to me. But other than that, the show's very tasteful. So I'm trying to say. But yeah, small tangent. And I know this video might feel a little all over the place, so excuse that. I'm honestly feel like I'm still processing the finale I watched an hour or 2 hours ago. But literally, and the thing is, there's also so many fine details that I just want to highlight, because it just makes the show very enjoyable to watch and just makes it a great TV show. There's like, let's highlight a little bit more of those moments. Okay. Of course, that premiere, like, I can't stop talking about the 50s part, which like is kind of dumb, because it's like, okay, that's the posters, like there's more to the show than episode 1. No, but that episode, I'm telling, first episodes are hard. They're literally a hit or miss. This was a freaking hit. Like, if there's an introduction to a show, like, you're gonna take that first episode. Like, that first episode, golden. I wonder how many drafts of that script there was, like, because it was perfection. And it just like amazed me how on point it was. I was like, okay, I need to buckle up for this show, because it's gonna take me, it's gonna be a ride. Let's go. And then of course, it's so funny. This part, actually, I accidentally spoiled it for myself, because I was like, okay, TikTok, like, when is Pietro coming back? Because I just watched Age of Ultron. I was like, okay, I understand a little more the backstory. And then I had eye candy. I had Mr. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I was like, ooh, like, he's the brother. He has to make a reappearance. Like, who cares if he's dead? Vision's dead. Like, hot Pietro, we're coming. So then it was so funny. So I just like was talking to my friend about it, and I Googled it, and she Googled it, and we spoiled it. Like, I was like, of all episodes, like, of all times for me to like be talking about hot Pietro, and then the first thing you Google, it's like, it's not spoiler. And of course I'm talking about end of episode 5, baby, and that is freaking Evan Peters, Pietro, making a reappearance, lighting all these theories, multiverse, what the hell is going on? Like, because when I was like, oh god, I have to watch another movie now. Because of course, I did not see the X-Men movies. Of course. I mean, Bryan Singer, like, let's just say that. Anyway, I mean, that was crazy. That was a crazy moment. Remember when that happened? Oh my god. I'd be damned if I did not point out. Oh, I think this is even bigger than the Pietro reveal. I'm gonna say it. Controversial. But it was Agatha all along. So you're telling me it was Agatha all along? What? That Agatha? Miss Agnes next door? The one who always comes in? All along? That was her? Oh, wow. No, amazing moment. Amazing. Like, for a moment, I was like, oh my god. This is the Agatha show. Like, I was like, this is her show. Give her the keys. Like just that theme song, just oh my god, like what a groove, just such a great theme song. Let's give it up for Miss Agatha, because then we don't like her. Because no, then we don't like her. We're like, what are you doing? Hack! No, just kidding. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, let's talk about these performances though. I thought the writing was masterful. Guess what? The performances are too. Because, again, tackling the same stuff. I think it's a lot. You already have a character. You have a character you've been playing for how many ever movies. And then you have to put them in this very specific decade and situation. What are they gonna do? And then also have the feel, have the sound, have the acting of that sitcom specifically too. So it's like these are masters of their craft. But I'm gonna highlight the big three because they have big tasks, okay? Miss Paula Bettany, Miss Elizabeth Olsen, and of course, the Mrs. Catherine Hahn. Like the ways they delivered the lines in the style of the genre, like a sitcom genre, or you know, those like the Office style genre. Style of comedy changed each time and they were fantastic at it. Or like the 60s where like that wasn't really a comedy. Like they were tackling genre, and then on top of that, we had Elizabeth Olsen exploring a character that has been through so much trauma. And just having such this heavy layer of emotion on top and or like beneath all of the actions that Wanda was doing. And just the pain when there was a glitch, or just like the pain when she saw like flashes of dead Vision, dead Pietro, and then snapping right back into the delivery of the sitcom after, you know, after that little hiccup, you know what I mean? Like, it was so compelling. It was so compelling. You can tell she just has like this deep respect and regard and understanding of this character. Like, I can't see anyone else being Wanda at this point. Like, Elizabeth Olsen can play Charles Kane, but can Orson Welles play Wanda Maximoff? Nope. Like, he could try, but she's gonna be doing laps. I'm just saying. I think also one aspect where the performance and the writing just worked so beautifully and brilliantly together. Like when they're in the Decade show, delivering lines as you would in that sitcom, but if you really heard what they were saying, then you would like it almost felt like you were closer to the mystery. You were closer to understanding what was going on. Because you had parts like, of course, like, I think it was like episode 6, like the 90s episode or whatever, Malcolm in the Middle. And then you had like Pietro, like, he said it in a very Malcolm in the Middle way, but basically was like, you want grief, don't you? It felt so stark because it was like, I think that like dichotomy and just like that juxtaposition, especially when like most of the shows are comedies too, so it's like you had sometimes these like really dark lines set in like a comedic delivery and you're like, what? And stuff, and it just made the show, added this eeriness to the show that which has carried out since the first episode. Those were kind of just like the best moments too, because again of that eerie tone it added to the show. Just these weird elements like the freaking Yo Magic commercial with like the kids starving. Like there was like aspects to this that kind of got dark, and I think it just like grounded you. Underneath all this is we're feeling the same things as Wanda. There's this darkness underneath everything because there's this dark cloud over her. Like, poor thing. Finale. I can't wait to watch it again. Let me just say that, like, which is a good sign. I think it was definitely very actiony, but it was actually done in a way that was so engaging. Like, I wanted to watch this finale in like a movie theater. I had like bass on my headphones and I was watching with headphones, and like it was like vibrating violently. So like imagine a theater like boom, boom, like, okay, I guess I'm watching Marvel movies now. Like Just from like that entertainment perspective, it was highly entertaining. And then just there were just like so many little moments that were just enjoyable, I guess. I mean, other Vision, no, they're not fighting. They're fighting through logic. Like, of course he knows him best. He knows him best. You know what I mean? Like, they are one. You know what I mean? No, but so that was an amazing moment. I was obsessed with The Incredibles as a kid. Like, I got like 2 DVD copies of it for my birthday party, like, for real. I feel like there's a little bit of an Incredibles moment there, like when it was Wanda and Vision and like the 2 kids and stuff. I'm just like, this is The Incredibles. We need like live action, like, let's go. Like, them fighting together as a family made it so much more emotional to see them go by the end of it. Like, I was even because I didn't know where White Vision went. I thought he low-key turned back into regular Vision. So it's like, oh my god, regular Vision's gonna be alive now. Like, and I was like, she doesn't have to be lonely and stuff. And no, honestly, a fantastic finale. And from an entertainment perspective, it wrapped up most of it. Like, it wrapped up whatever. Like, it wasn't. There's a couple holes here and there, which we'll talk about in a second, but as a finale, like, it was an amazing finale. Like, I think there's a lot of high expectations for this finale, mostly to fill in those plot holes and stuff like that, but it doesn't, honestly, it's like, I feel like I can forgive all that because it's just so entertaining. Speaking of plot holes, I feel like there's a couple plot holes. There's not that many downsides to this show. Let me just say, I mean, I kind of touched a little bit, like, here and there on a couple, but I feel like a major downside was the plot holes. As a TV fan, I like when plots are sorted out eventually, like, and all of them, you know what I mean? So, because it's satisfying. Like, wrap it up, or show me something unexpected when you do. I don't care. But, so, I'm kind of a little unsatisfied, just on a couple. As I was rewatching the show in preparation of this, like, the whole, I guess, theme or storyline of, like, oh, we need to blend in. And then, of course, like, by the end, like, they are, like, completely, like, guns blazing, like, you know what I mean? So it's like whatever. But it's like, the beginning, they were so gung-ho on blending in. And then, I feel like where the children aspect too was like, it seemed like it was gonna be bigger than it was. I mean, it was a huge thing in episode 2, and then in episode 6 when he did find the children, and then they just kind of like left it. They're like, whatever. Who was Jimmy Woo looking for? Apparently he was like, episode 4 when he was first introduced, he was looking for someone. That's why he was like there. I mean, maybe you can make the argument, I guess, that like who he was trying to find was like they weren't able to leave the hex, so it's like everyone was technically missing in there. I don't know. Plot hole that I kind of felt like was in the finale that I was like, because as I kind of just mentioned, like, I thought that the White Vision like turned into regular Vision because he like became humanish. Like, I was like, can we do something more with that police? Like, I thought he came back to life. I was like, oh my god. And then I just want to know where White Vision went. If he's not like back to life regular Vision, because I think what tripped me up is that the Vision in the Hex left in the same way that White Vision did. So I was like, oh my god, he literally turned into regular Vision. No, but just tell me where White Vision went. I just want to know. Is he having a nice vacation somewhere? He's out in the world. Like, he's literally out in the world still. Like, they didn't kill him. They didn't do anything. So just like, I want to know. Can we get a spin-off of that? It's like Snowy Vision. It's WandaVision, Antarctica edition. Oh my god, that rhymed. Oh my god. Before we conclude, let me just touch a little bit on my favorite episodes. I bet you can guess. Like, actually, why don't you guess? Let's take a minute. Okay, let me tell you. Episode 1, of course, insanely amazing premiere first episode. Episode 6, I just love the gags. The gags in this episode, insanely good. And Evan Peters' performance in this episode is really fantastic. Again, embodying this character, embodying the delivery of the sitcom and of the character simultaneously, while also delivering these very blunt and slightly dark lines. So good. Episode 9, the series finale. Entertaining. Entertainment value through the roof. Get your popcorn, get your soda, get your candy, get anything. No, don't look at your phone because you won't. Oh, well, actually, you don't have to worry about that because you will be glued into this finale. Because, like, I was actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of worried for the finale because I honestly, like, episode 8, everyone's talking about, you know, very profound writing and, like, I think it was good writing. I think people, yeah, that was so profound to travel through, like, these traumatic memories that we haven't seen before. It's like, which, honestly, do we even need that? Because, like, we already, I think we all witnessed her brother dying. The freaking experiments. We saw Vision die. You know what I mean? Like, we already saw so much of her trauma. So it's like, to be invited into more, it was like, I think also why I thought it was kind of corny was, like, it's like we knew you're referencing these shows. Like, did you really have to play clips from them? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh my god, I know it's my favorite episode section, but, like, I feel like I finally have the words to describe why it was corny to me. But yeah, it was definitely the clips of the show. Like, like, as if fans didn't obviously, like, point out those references immediately when they saw them. Like, we didn't need to see that. I was kind of worried from episode 8 that, like, I thought it'd be like the exact same tone from that episode for finale. No, I was not disappointed at all. It was it's a whole different episode. It was a whole, like, of all the Marvel-esque episodes, oh, fantastic. Like, oh no, that conquers episode 4, that conquers episode 8, like, completely. But, like, hands down, might be the best, for me, the best Marvel project I've ever seen. Maybe I need to see Endgame, but I don't even know if this is going to compare to Endgame. I don't think so. Because of all the stuff I just explained with the writing and the juggling act of that and the performances and just the gags and just, there's so much there. It's not, a lot of things on this show are not surface level at all. And I love that. They dug deeper. They really put their all in. Research, the whole 9 yards, just absolutely flexing their writing muscles, their acting muscles, their directing muscles, like everything. Technically it was on point, and that was so fun to watch, from how precise the costumes were, to how precise the set was, how precise the camera was, how precise, again, the writing, everything. The precision and how well executed it was. And also how funny it was, and just how enjoyable and delightful it was to watch this, and how entertaining it was. It's not even just that makes this show really great. Also because they use this format as an allegory for processing trauma and grief, which they literally did not need to do. This is not even criticism. Like, they did not need to do what they did from, like, that emotional standpoint, from, like, including such an emotional theme. They just, all they needed to do was set up the next cycle for Marvel, but they saw an opportunity and they took it and they did it so well. The show is just gonna already be good to watch just because of, like, how fun it is to go through these decades of, like, TV history, right? So, like, and all they had to do was move, like, this more surface level plot along of, like, she's gonna eventually find out she's a Scarlet Witch and all of that. Like, that's what it was meant to do. But then they went above that, which I was not expecting from a Marvel project. I wasn't expecting for them to be talked about and included with such care, too. So hiring writers who had processed trauma of their own, and so coming from that knowledgeable standpoint, too, and just that precision of literally hiring people who knew how to tell this story. It's like, when is another Marvel project gonna tackle this topic with such care and in such precision, too? Like, literally, I'm telling you, like, this show only had to set up a movie. The fact that they wanted to say something more substantial and make the show more emotionally potent. Mix is such an incredible installment for the Marvel series as a whole, and definitely the most memorable Marvel project I've ever watched, like hands down. Like I can't, I'm sorry, I can't tell you when I've enjoyed another Marvel project to this degree. Like not like full stop, not gonna lie. This is literally not a dunk on Marvel, because Marvel itself is really entertaining. Like I don't watch actiony stuff that often. Literally, can't you tell? No, but I don't. And when I did watch Age of Ultron for this show, I literally definitely found myself being highly entertained, highly enjoyable. But yeah, the stuff I have watched, I have been very entertained by. So that's literally it's more of a testament to how great the show is. Like the Marvel movies are pretty entertaining, enjoyable, but this is like to a different level that it's never gone before, at least with my experience with the MCU. The possibilities that come from the show, as well as the show itself, that is just highly exciting. Like I mean, I don't know if I'll actually watch Falcon Winter Soldier. See, I don't even know that. But I think that I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch that, but it makes me consider it. Like after watching this show, I'm like, maybe Marvel has something to say about that too. Like who knows? We won't have Agatha all along, but I'll consider it. So with all this being said, it is no surprise that I'm giving WandaVision an 8 out of 10. Woo, woo, woo. Nah. But thanks for watching. I really surprised myself with this show, and with watching something Marvel related, and also watching stuff in relation to the show, like other movies and stuff like that. So